but right now I'm kind of just focusing on today, tomorrow, the next hour. So my work routine, as far as when it comes to art, is a little bit different because, me and you we were talking, and as you know, I work like three jobs.
Yeah.
So I not only I work, I handle customer accounts for Amazon.
Mhm.
I also do graphic design freelance because,
Yeah.
I do have that degree,
Mhm.
and I also do illustration and sequential art. So
Okay.
my schedule's a little bit different, but on average, say an 11 by 17 page, it takes me about 6 hours to do.
All right. Okay.
So that's about average. It takes about 6 hours, I would say. If I'm just drawing, just to draw, I try to draw as much as I can because the more you draw, you're only going to get better.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect, like they say.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. No. Cool. Yeah. It's kind of interesting to hear that because obviously, like you say, you're holding down three jobs as well as all that. So being able to get that and do that sort of graphic art as well to 6 hours is a nice time to do a piece like that as well. It's
Well, that's if I have something that's due, or if I'm working on something for an upcoming pinup that I'm going to feature in another convention, because I'm
Yeah.
getting ready for next year.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready for conventions that I'm getting ready to book. So I want to have as many pieces that people could choose from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it is different, My work schedule's different. I don't really sleep a lot. I sleep an average about 4 hours
Right. Okay.
because, I work 6 hours usually in the morning,
Mhm.
and then I do whatever freelance work I have, and then I look at scripts, and then I start drawing, and then I draw up until actually whenever I go to bed,
Mhm.
and then I get up and do it all over again. So
All right.
pretty much the majority of my day is drawing.
Cool. That's pretty pretty lack of sleep there. 4 hours a night.
That's about it. I'm already used to it, on my days off, I get like six. I get 6 hours.
That's fair enough. That's only because I'm used to getting like I'm an old man, so I'm in bed by 10. Excellent. So, what kind of tools do you use to create the artwork, and what makes them the right tools for you?
Well, I know a lot of people are doing digital art.
Mhm.
I'm not a digital artist. I can do it. I just choose not to because it doesn't give the same feel as the original technique, paper,
Yeah.
pencil.
Mhm.
I usually use like a 4H pencil,
Okay.
and which is, it's pretty light. And then when I'm done, I go back and use like a 2B, which is it's a darker lead.
Mhm.
And then I use different comic boards. There's like 3 or 4 different brands. They all really don't matter as long as they have the blue lines on them. I don't
Yeah.
care. Some are better than others, but some people I'm sure would disagree with whatever pencils I use. But before I used to ink my own work, now I actually have an inker.
Mhm.
Her name's Patricia. She's really great. So it makes my workload a lot less because she can produce pretty much as fast as I can.
Excellent.
So, and she cleans up my work a lot. So
Yeah.
we understand each other. We got a good partnership going on right now. So I hope, she'll at least, continue inking my work gradually as my career goes on.
Awesome.
But, that's what makes it right for me.
Mhm.
When I was inking my own work, I used to use Copics,
Mhm.
Copic a lot. I guess that's the brand of marker. I
Okay.
used to use that a lot, and, whiteout, Sharpie, pretty much whatever. Indian ink. I figured if it's good enough for Jim Lee, it's good enough for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And how much revision and editing do you do with the work?
Sometimes I'm not happy with it, and I'll keep doing it all day, and keep
Mhm.
tossing it, throwing it. It really depends how I'm feeling. Usually, on average, I revision about twice
Okay.
before I turn anything in.
Mhm.
And then once it goes to, my editor, then I make that minor adjustment that he wants.
Yeah.
So for me, 2 times, but all in all, I'd say about 3.
All right. Okay.
times. So,
That's not too bad. Not too bad. Uh, Yeah, I was going to say the amount of times if I released all the outtakes of me doing my intros, people would be quite surprised about 15 or 20 times, even just to say that tiny 3 or 4 lines at the beginning. Yeah, there's a lot of revision in that sort of area as well. But I could imagine, especially with the graphic side of things, you need to get it perfectly on. You've got that image in your mindset, so even just the slightest curve that you might have, when you've done it, you look back at it and you want to rechange it again.
And the funny thing is, I may not like it, and I may be fighting about it because I don't like it, but it doesn't mean someone else
Well,
doesn't.
exactly, yeah.
Someone else doesn't notice. I remember telling, a friend of mine, I was showing him this piece that I did, and I was like, hey, take a look at this. What do you think? He's like, oh, it's good. I was like, no, there's something wrong with it. He's like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And he's also an artist too, but he's more of a digital artist. So he does everything digitally.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, no, it's this, that, and that. He's like, no, he's all, trust me, it's fine. You're just being too difficult and too hard on yourself.
Well, that's true as well. There's nothing worse than the self-criticism when it comes to your own work. So I can imagine, yeah.
You're your worst critic.
Exactly. Like you say, it's something that most people probably wouldn't even notice, but for you, because it's your piece of work and you want to get it there, it's your mind's eye is what it needs to be. But yeah, if you'd shown it to me and showed me something that was your first draft, I'd still probably think it was absolutely spot on.
It's just, sometimes, it's, more than 3 times. Sometimes it'll be the whole day where I'm just tossing everything, and I just kind of give up, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do this today.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, especially the entire day. Just come back with fresh eyes as well. That's always a good one.
Yeah,
sometimes just
I come back and I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes take a good break away from it, and then come back to it, and then decide whether you need to redo it or not. That's always a good way to. Cool. So, what kind of element of your work gives you the most personal satisfaction?
Really, honestly, I didn't get into this business because I cared about the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get into this business because I wanted to make millions of dollars. Honestly, I really enjoy comics. I guess you can say I'm a comic enthusiast, more or less just the opportunity just to be able to be a part of that industry is what gives me the satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. That's actually a nice thing to hear as well, because it's everyone out there, well, not everyone, but all you see in society now, it's money. Let's make it big. You see all these reality TVs. Let's go on the big star. Let's get out there and make it money.
Exactly.
It's just filled. It's you just got to turn your TV on, and that's all, or even your newspapers, and that's all it's filled with. So it's nice to actually hear people doing something purely because they love doing it.
Because they love doing it. A friend of mine, back at home, told me he had said something. What is the price of all the money in the world? What's the price of all the success in the world for the cost of your soul? And he always used to tell me that. He told me, just think about it. What is really the cost of your soul? You don't get any satisfaction. You can have, all this money, but if it's not something that you enjoy, there's not really a point. So.
Exactly. And I can say that from the job that I slave away in. It's a nice job. It's not what I want to be, but it's what produces the money. So, it's unfortunately there's some situations where like that you have to sort of move into. But you're right. If you're making millions and millions and you're not enjoying it, then something's seriously wrong. Yeah. Like I said, we've talked about you do all that for free. I don't make anything from this, and I thoroughly enjoy this as a hobby, and and putting it out there as well. And who cares about anything like that? It's the fact that you're getting to do something you enjoy. You're getting to share it with other people. Other people take enjoyment from it.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes that I don't. I mean, sometimes I get paid, and sometimes I'll take projects, out of pretty much, just out of trying it out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And I have different arrangements with different writers and different editors. There's people that'll pay me, a percentage of whatever gets sold.
Yeah.
There's people that'll give me a flat fee, and I always work with people because that keeps me working.
Mhm.
I'm not going to turn down a project because you can't pay me my minimum
Yep.
or
Yep. No,
you can't pay me a lot. If you really believe in the project and I could tell that you believe in it,
yep.
I'll give it my best, but at
Mhm.
the same time, I want at least that artistic freedom. If for instance, if you're going to pay me less than what my minimum is,
Mhm.
and we agree to that, or if you're going to pay me later,
Yep.
that's fine. But I at least, I like to make it a point that I at least want the artistic freedom of viewing the script and how I would draw it or how I would view it.
Well, that makes sense. It does. It's I'm not knocking people making money from what they love. That's the whole point of the whole idea. So yeah, it should be
Yeah,
exactly. That's what.
exactly.
That's what.
So it's
You got to make sure that you're safeguarded and that you're protected with what you want to do as well. Right.
yeah,
And not get trodden on.
yeah, absolutely. I just always, like I say, I'm open to talking to people, and I always tell them, I was like, hey, if you want to negotiate, by all means, we'll see what we can come up with.
Well, yeah. There's always ways around certain things, isn't there?
Mhm.
If you're enjoying it and having fun with it. So, do you draw from life at all, or is it just
Sometimes,
yeah?
not necessarily when I'm, doing anything that's scripted or
Mhm.
creation wise, but it's drawing from life is a great practice. It
Mhm.
will make you a better artist because it's not something that's necessarily still like a photo reference.
Yep.
It'll make you a better artist because everything's, in motion, so you have to change everything.
Yeah.
And then of course, you have the speed of doing everything. So, I highly always recommend, people to either draw from life, a
Mhm.
photo reference, only because it will make you a better artist.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you can't really draw from Harold, can you? Because he doesn't move much.
No, he's been kind of hyperactive lately. So.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, that's throwing that one in there.
Yes, yes, Harold is my cat.
Yeah.
My cat's name is Harold. It's a gentleman's name, and people think it's funny when I take him to the vet. I tell him his name's Harold, because they find that an unusual name for a cat, but it's not for me.
I can actually just about see him in the back. He's giving himself a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice image there. Thanks, Harold.
I actually had no idea he was in the room with me.
I didn't.
Until you
Nor
mentioned
did.
it.
Nor did I until you suddenly turned around. I suddenly saw the thing moving in the background. So.
No, but yeah, it's a gentleman's name.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool. Excellent. Who's your favourite character to draw?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I draw so many different ones. I draw a lot of Constantine, as you know, as everyone knows. That's the reason why I was at Heroes and Villains was because I had Constantine art.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, I was very thankful for that fan base, and I'm very thankful for that character,
Mhm.
throughout my life because that is the character that I read actually. Believe it or not, yeah, good parenting. I know. I read it. I was reading Constantine in the 5th grade. Good parenting. Way to go. But I was, I was, so I owe a lot to that character. I love a lot of the darker characters,
Mhm.
like drawing a lot of villains. Because that's why I've been so involved in, horror comics, horror anthologies, and suspense because,
Yeah.
I really enjoy drawing, monsters and things like that.
Mhm.
So,
Excellent. Excellent. And what's been the kind of most rewarding project so far in your career in your com?
oh, that's, I've been given a lot of opportunities, just out of trying.
Mhm.
Um, the biggest thing for me was actually I was featured in the San Diego 2016 Comic-Con book
Awesome.
for actually Plastic Man out of all the characters I drew. And I had never drawn Plastic Man, but it came out pretty good. I was really pleased, and they seemed to enjoy it. I get
Mhm.
a lot of compliments on that piece. So, to me, just being a part of that book with a bunch of other artists and
Yeah.
artists that are very well known in the industry, and knowing that this is a book that was given to, and once again, it's one of those things that's strictly for the fans. People that
Mhm.
attend Comic Con, they get the book for free. It's
Yeah.
a souvenir book.
Mhm.
So, it was just rewarding to know that there was that many people that have actually seen my artwork.
Yeah.
So to me, that's probably been the biggest accomplishment for me this